Local community college to give a lecture. When Dr. Bernholtz Vasquez came to the local community college to give a lecture, Marshall, the youngest member of the audience.
What advice do you have for a budding anthropologist?
What advice do you have for 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 You being sarcastic.
You're being sarcastic.
Oh, how you know me.
You being sarcastic.
You're being sarcastic.
Oh, how you know me.
You're being sarcastic.
I'm flat broke. My only other suit options are track or birth.
Dude, you show up to an interview in that? Even the hippie lawyers from Granola Mountain Earth Pals.
You show up to an interview in that. You show up to an interview in that. You show up to an interview in that. You show up to an interview in that.
If Ted's your soulmate, then how am I supposed to know if we're soulmates?
How am I supposed to know if we're soulmates? How am I supposed to know if we're soulmates? How am I supposed to know if we're soulmates? How am I supposed to know if we're soulmates?
Yep, when I grew up, I want to go live with the gorillas just like you did.
Oh, well, guess you'll have to come work at my company.
You set this up. You set this up. You set this whole thing. You set this whole thing up.
You set this up. You set this whole thing up.
You set this whole thing up. I've been trying to call her, but I can't get through.
I've been trying to call her. I can't get through all this.
I've been trying to call her. But I can't get through.
Oh, that's wonderful. But I'm afraid you can't.
These brats have us completely surrounded.
These brats have us completely surrounded.
And if economic sanctions and trade restrictions aren't enforced,
Not use enough, and then suddenly, poof, spell's broken.
I will use the right amount of tongue.
We'll use exactly the right amount of tongue.
I will use exactly the right amount of tongue. I will use exactly the right amount of tongue.
I'm saying that the coffee industry is causing irreversible. Yeah. The point is that even though Lily is my soulmate long distance, if you think that there's any chance that Victoria is your soulmate, you should ask her to stay.
If you think that there is any chance that Victoria, if you think that there is any chance that Victoria is your soulmate, then you should ask her to stay. You should ask her to stay. Then you should ask her to stay. You should ask her to stay.
I'm saying that the coffee industry is